What is up, my veggies? My name is VTR, and welcome to another episode review. And this is a weird one, I know. Episode review of this show at this point. If you guys didn't know, obviously I've been reviewing the season of Walking Dead on the channel. But I wanted to review the season premiere of episode 7 of season 7. Because I have a lot of thoughts on that episode. I just rewatched that episode, and I kind of wanted to make a video talking about this episode as a whole, because it was a big deal with this episode because of the cliffhanger from season 6, and then figuring out who Negan killed and everything. That's the big focus of this episode's on, and that's really what the big thing is. And a lot of this episode, a lot of people so what before what's happened in this episode? Let's just talk about that. Obviously, we find out who Negan killed, and he also takes Rick off to kind of like teach Rick kind of a lesson and everything, and then brings Rick back. And like overall, that's really all that happens in the episode, just like overall wise. But obviously, spoilers, big massive spoilers. If you have not seen the season premiere of season 7, it's been but he winds up killing Abraham, and then Daryl winds up punching Negan and winds up killing Glenn as well. He winds up killing Glenn as well. And there was I know a lot of people apparently fell off watching the show after this. Like, like straight up, they just stopped watching the show because of this. And um that's kind of insane to me and everything. And a lot of people complained like about the gore of their kills, which personally I can understand. You don't want to see a character you care about be, well, for lack of a better term, mutilated like that. And um and I remember watching the reaction compilation. People were just a lot of people were just like, "Oh, this is disgusting. I can't watch this." And I don't know if that's because people that just can't um handle gore, or if it's because it's these characters. I don't know, but I can understand both sides. Me, obviously, I watch a lot of horror movies and stuff, so gore doesn't bother me. I actually was watching this episode. I was tearing up a little bit. Um, Not really at their actual deaths, because I knew they were coming and everything. It's more like specifically Rick's reactions throughout the episode, and Maggie's right after the saviors leave. Um that is where the whole episode lingers in my mind. Sorry for the flashing on the thing. I don't the camera flashing. It's doing the thing that happens sometimes. Anyway, but overall, I think it is a very insane season opener. I think it is like an opener that's like, okay, like how are we gonna even top this the rest of the season going forward? And like a lot of people, when they watch The Walking Dead, I imagine dread rewatching this episode just because of how it is. And personally, I can completely understand that, because this is definitely an episode you will dread watching. You would dread um and I know a lot of people leading up to the premiere for this were like nervous about it. Like they were not excited. They were nervous. Like normally when you're waiting for a new season of the show, you're excited for it. This, they were not. Like they were not excited for the show. Um for this, but they were scared. They were nervous. And personally, right, I think midway through this season was when I actually started watching the episodes as they were coming out. That was my when I started focusing on this. I was getting caught up like right after, not long after season 6 ended. Um, so that's when I started really getting into the show, because the games I mean, I can talk a whole video about how I got into The Walking Dead. Maybe I'll do that one day in the future. Um, but overall, this episode is, I think later on they wind up turning down a lot of the gore and stuff because I remember there was a lot of complaints about that in this episode was one of them. And that's one of the main reasons I wanted to talk about this episode was because of that. But I think Rick personally is at his best acting ability in this episode. Like you feel every emotion this man is going through, especially when Negan's telling him to chop Carl's arm off. Like it is so hard to watch this man go through this like struggle, this like existential this crisis in his head. I guess I can't say the word. You know what I mean? Um, and it's just surreal. Just how that and just seeing how every character reacts to it. And I haven't even rewatched the second episode yet, so I don't even remember how the rest of the town that wasn't there takes it. Enid and Gabriel and just and obviously Carol and Morgan when they find out, and it's a tough watch. Like it is but I think it is a good way to start off the season. It shows that Negan is this kind of this big threat that the group has never gone, like they've gone against some bad guys, but like Negan is like next level. Like I don't even think going forward the villains after Negan are as big of a threat as Negan is. Um and it's and the position like at this point in the show, our characters are probably at one of their lowest points ever. I think it's yes, they still have a place to live and everything, but they are basically being controlled by this other group and have to they're basically like the ants from A Bug's Life, and like the saviors are the grasshoppers where they have to like uh scavenge food and supplies and stuff for them. It's basically like that, which is really messed up when you think about it. And but for Pete's sake, I think this episode is done extremely well to set that tone. I think it sets that tone, the dread the characters are feeling, and it really does a good job making the audience feel that dread too. And I think that's one reason why this is probably one of the best season openings of a TV show I have ever seen. Like it is completely insane. Like I'm not even gonna sugarcoat that. It is one of the most insane things I have ever sat through and watched. Like I don't even know what else to say at that point. I'm gonna give an episode a rating. I think it's a pretty dang good episode. I don't really like how like we have a little flash forward and then it flashes back to what actually happened. Um, and it's a little weird. They really wanted to play it out, being like, but I think the episode is like just the emotion and everything is like, and that's like setting the tone for the season, putting these characters to this dread. So and like really hurting the audience because of what they had to witness. And it is, I think it's a really done well season opener. And personally, I would give this. It's a near 5 out of 5 episode. I'm just gonna give it a 4.5. But it's a near 5.5. I'd say 5 out of 5 premiere. I think it's basically. I know a lot of people don't like it because of. I think it sets a really good tone for the rest of the season and how. Now obviously I'll probably jump back to this episode talking about when I review the entire season. Um, but yeah, that's really all I got to say for this review, guys. I really wanted to talk about this season on this episode before I continued watching. Uh, and it's a crazy watch, man. If yeah, Man, it's a crazy watch. Um, even though you know what's coming, you still feel that sense of dread that the writers want you to feel, and it does a really good job at that, I think. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I know it's a little out of the blue one, a little odd one, but hope you guys enjoyed it anyway, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.